And before I get into this, let me give a quick disclaimer. Especially when you set a structure like this up, you don't need a specific person for each thing. You can also have, for example, if you work with a partner, be the COO and the head of marketing. You can be the COO and the CEO and the head of people, right? You can give multiple positions to certain people. This is how Fortune 500 companies do it as well. You shouldn't obviously be head of 5 different departments, but you don't want to pay like 50 fucking managers at the same time, because these people are your core team. You can also have a head of marketing and head of people, and then you as a CEO or the head of sales in the meantime. Now, the head of marketing is in charge of the overall traffic and front-end department. Everything that happens before the paywall is his responsibility. That means not only the traffic itself, right? The Twitter, the traffic, the Instagram, the dating apps, I guess, but also the overall online presence, how the creator is essentially shown in the public. He doesn't manage single creators. He manages the entire department, the employees, the managers, which I'm going to get into later. Now, for these type of positions, you need smart people. This is not a Filipino VA task. You need smart, intelligent people who are able to lead. So if you don't have anyone in your close circle, like maybe a friend or a brother or other employees out of first world countries that you've worked with, once you make 6-7 figures, this is the time where you want to hire outside of the OFM industry. Having a good head of marketing that you can teach him the OFM game pretty fast, that's going to be a leverage to your business, because at this point you're a professional business. Even when you're making 5K per month, you're not like some idiot in front of a MacBook. You're the CEO and you should behave like one. Now, head of people obviously is in charge of human resources, as gay as it sounds, obviously taking care of overall employee structure, employee payments, all that stuff, making sure your team is happy, making sure the recruitment is going strong. He's going to be in charge of getting creators into the agency, of getting new employees into the agency, of overviewing the hiring processes. Now, as the head of a department, I will get to the overall definition later, but he's not sending outreach DMs. Like for those of you who maybe are not at the point yet, because you need to know this stuff. His job is not to send out outreach messages or to do job interviews, maybe at the last stage. His job is to give feedback, overview all the other employees who are taking care of the day-to-day tasks. The head of sales is pretty self-explanatory. He's obviously going to take care of the back end and the chatting, meaning he's going to handle the OnlyFans accounts. He's going to handle the chats, the VAs, all that stuff. Now, we have a fourth department head, which is the head of legal. Now, this becomes relevant once you hit the 6 figures realistically, but it's going to definitely pay off. Now, this doesn't have to be a strict hire. You can also have an accountant just like on a call basis away. But I can recommend having, for example, like your let me scroll up again, having your CFO also be the head of legal if he's kind of experienced with laws, because you're going to run into the common dispute here and there. You're going to have creators not pay your invoice. You're going to have chatters have a legal problem. Nothing to do with you, right? But you want to be able to help them. So having a head of legal, having someone kind of like a lawyer, like a Saul Goodman, who just knows his shit, he knows what to do, and he can give you instructions. You can hit him up, be like, hey, can we do this? Is this a good idea? And he's going to be like, fuck no. All right. Make sure to hire someone who's actually cool. Make sure to hire someone who's aware of laws, but also how to work with them, and not just someone who read a law book. We've had a head of legal, I can tell this funny story, who knew he was kind of like autistic. He knew every single law in this industry. It's crazy. You could ask him and he would tell you exactly how the law is. He didn't have to Google out, use ChatGPT or whatever. But he was shit at working with laws. Like, I'm going to put this in legal terms here, but if the law is X and you want to do Y, a bad accountant be like, the law is X, you can't do Y. A good accountant and a good lawyer will do, okay, the law is X, here are the options we can use to still do Y. Like, you want a head of legal that is solution orientated, okay? He has to think in terms of possible solutions, which I can give you as a pointer, because otherwise you're just burning money down the drain.